The recent proclamation by the chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, to allow incarcerated people to vote is a monumental and deeply commendable step forward for Nigeria. This decision, a culmination of years of advocacy, marks a historic victory for inclusivity. It boldly challenges a long-standing practice that unjustly disenfranchised a significant portion of our population. For too long, over 53,000 inmates awaiting trial who are legally presumed innocent until proven guilty have been denied their most basic civil rights. This was a profound contradiction to our Constitution and our democratic ideals. INEC's decision to rectify this is a powerful affirmation that citizenship is a right, not a privilege to be suspended without conviction. Beyond the legal and moral imperative, this move is a strategic investment in our nation's future. Granting voting rights to inmates encourages civic responsibility and serves as a vital tool for rehabilitation, preparing individuals for successful reintegration into society. This is not a radical or untested idea. Nigeria now joins nations like South Africa, Kenya, and Ghana, which have successfully demonstrated that voting can be conducted securely and fairly within correctional facilities. This alignment with our African peers and global standards elevates Nigeria's democratic standing and shows our commitment to an inclusive democracy where every voice matters. The task ahead now is to ensure seamless implementation. We urge INEC and the Nigerian Correctional Service to collaborate closely on a clear and efficient framework, establish secure polling units, conduct thorough voter registration drives and civic education campaigns, and ensure the transparency of the process. This proclamation is more than a policy change. It is a declaration of democratic maturity. It proves that Nigeria is committed to building a democracy where the promise of justice and equality extends to all its citizens. I wholeheartedly endorse this decision and look forward to its successful implementation, ushering in a new era of inclusive governance and civic participation.
Just, I don't have a question. I just have a question. Is the amendment they're looking at, is it just for incarcerated
awaiting trials?
Just awaiting trials or convicted?
No, not convicted.
So it doesn't cover convicted.
Yes,
it's just awaiting trial.
Awaiting trial.
So the amendment they're looking at is in the Electoral Act, right?
Yeah.
All right.
Borrow your word. I think you are precipitate in some way. So overall, it's a good thing. Let's just get that clear. And I like the angle about reintegration into society. That was quite thoughtful, and it should be encouraged by all means. However, where we part ways is where you say that this demonstrates commitment to inclusive democracy,
democratic maturity,
and that this is a proof
that our democracy has matured.
We are now committed to justice and equality to all citizens. Because of this, no, I don't think we are going to let them off that easy. There will have to be a lot more demonstrated in the implementation of the Electoral Act, in the conduct of elections, in the announcement of results, in the resolution of electoral malpractices. Okay, I think they have a lot more to prove. This is a good thing, but I don't think it translates into the
electoral
to what we are trying
to
maturity.
Yeah.
When it comes to democracy in Nigeria, it's neither here nor there, right? If we look at INEC themselves now, first question: why do we have 53,000 people awaiting trial? Why? What is happening in the judicial system? We've had people who have been awaiting trials for years. So first, what is going on? Please, if our democracy is maturing, why are people there that long without being represented and being given the human rights they deserve, right? That's on one part. On the second part is INEC. So last election, I mean, I'm not the numbers person, he's the numbers guy, but I hear that we had about 93 million Nigerians registered to vote, have you?
Yes.
only 25 million people, or about 25 million people voted. Now, that 25 million, at least I voted. I know what happened, even from the presidential to the governors, I participated, right? And just those 25 million that came out, a lot of people were still disenfranchised. INEC could not get to the polling unit on time. They could not accreditate you on time. A lot of issues happened, and we had people who, at the end of the day, said they've closed. You just carry yourself and go back home. It's not that you did not vote because you did not come out. You did not vote because INEC could not accommodate you. But the same INEC is very interested in counting the votes of people that are waiting trial, right? As much as, yes, it sounds really nice, it sounds really good, but I'm questioning the intent of this policy, or this, I don't know what it's called now, that is being pushed. I don't want to say everything with my mouth, but I am questioning the intent behind this conversation. And that is all I'm going to say.
Well, voting is a fundamental human right.
Absolutely.
And I see that this is becoming a strong global trend, even though the United States is still an outlier. They have just about 3 states with this sort of law: Maine, Vermont, and I think Washington, D.C. But by and large, there are many more countries in Europe, Australia, and all those places coming into making decisions like this. Well, there was a case in 2019 that brought about this consideration, whereby 72,000 people incarcerated in prison were, given the green light to vote. And I'm glad that there is an amendment now and a proclamation, to use your word, to say, let it be. So in letting it be, I hope, and this is all I have to say, that this will make politicians to begin to address the idea of criminal justice reform, looking at the conditions in our prisons, because if they're voting for you, then they have a right to reforms from you, for you to look at what they really, truly need. I hope that we will have lesser jailbreaks, because it being their fundamental human right to vote, you agreeing that they should vote means they're contributing to your victory as a politician. Mm-hmm. It means a constituency that you need to also focus on. I agree with you, Elsie. People outside have not even finished voting. Nevertheless, constitutional reform or prison reform or criminal justice reforms should include that people who are being held without trials should just be allowed to go home. There's no point in voting from the prison when you can vote from your home.
While we applaud the right vision and monitor its implementation, we are playing our part as active citizens in the push for change.